So, what's going on, guys? Well, so I'm down at the shop again, as you can see, and I haven't been down here in a few days, maybe a week. I don't know. I've just been busy at school, other stuff going on. Well, so I come down here and I walk in, and now some of you guys probably won't even believe me when I tell you this. It seems like a ridiculous story. I come down here, and there's something sitting here very unexpected and very significant. And I have to say I was pretty damn surprised. So I'm gonna take you guys over and I'm gonna show you what that is. Also, I'll give you a hint right now. It's for we'll call it Project Chevelle up there. So we're gonna peek around this car, and there it is. This is what I'm talking about. An aluminum-headed big block is just sitting here. No idea about this. You probably won't even believe me when I'm telling this. I bet you don't. But most of you don't. An aluminum-headed big block. What the hell? It's a 5-speed. I did know about this. We bought from someone around the country somewhere. A Richmond 5-speed. It's a really great transmission to put into an old muscle car to get an extra gear in it. Some disc brakes for that car too. So there's the project. You guys saw this when I showed it to you on the in the shop tour video. So I'll just call it Project Chevelle. How about that? Maybe we'll come up with a better name for it soon. But Project Chevelle. Well, so now check this out, guys. A freaking huge ass big block is just chilling here. I'm still pretty shocked. I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. Jesus Christ. Well, so I'm guessing you guys are going to want to know about it. And now I have some of the details. I called my dad when I came down here and saw this because I was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? And so I asked him about it, and he told me some stuff. He was kind of in the middle of something, so I don't have all the details right now. I'll get them for you. But so the basics of it are... So it's an aluminum-headed big block. The block itself is an original big block, factory block. Believe it's 454, something like that. Well, so basically it's got a 4 1/4 stroke. Now, anybody who know anything about big blocks, a 454 had a 4-inch stroke. So that says it's kind of like a stroker. My dad told me it's a 508. So I'm not quite sure what the bore is, but by that I can pretty much guess. I could calculate it out, but with a 4 1/4 stroke, the bore is probably somewhere around 4.3, 4.4 inches. So it's a big bore. I mean, a 454 big block factory only had a 4 1/4 bore with a 4-inch stroke. So this is it's going to be a pretty stout little motor combination. I also know it has a solid roller cam, pretty big solid roller cam. I don't know the specs on that right now. So it's got a stout valve train, single plane intake. It's an assault intake. I've never actually heard of that. Now I asked my dad as well. I wanted to know about these heads. There's some pretty nice looking aluminum heads. And he says they're a world product head. For all of you out there who know about big blocks, you've probably heard of them. And, it's an aluminum head. It's going to be pretty nice. They're a pretty reputable company. I've always seen good things from them. And, Christ, I still can't even believe it. I'm just shocked coming down here. Like, what the hell? And this is an MSD billet distributor, as you can see there too, I guess. So I've been told. I don't know anything about... I'd really like to know the compression, the cam specs, and I'll get that stuff for you guys. Maybe soon when we're putting it in. I don't know if we're going to be doing anything else to this before we put it in. It's very likely. Balancer on some nice chrome pieces. Classic Chevy orange. Gotta love that, right? It's original. It's very original. So now I'm still pretty flabbergasted by this, and I really wish I knew more about it right now to tell you guys, but kind of limited right now. I know, we built it in part with a local machine shop of ours, R&L Engines. They're up in Dover, New Hampshire. Great shop. We've been going there for quite a few years. Wow, geez, look at this thing. That's nice. So we've got quite a bit of new parts for this project. So I'm finding out now. These really nice tubular control arms. I'm not sure who makes these, but they're very nice looking. I'm very impressed by these. Check that out, guys. That's nice. Wow. You can see the other side of them up there. The other one that's in there. So this car, it had an automatic that we took out of it, and a 454 truck motor. Those both came out of it. And so we're going to replace that, obviously, with this engine and this Doug Nash or Richmond 4+1, as you can see right there, 5-speed. So it's these trannies have a 1-to-1 fifth gear. Typically, so a 4-speed, like a Muncie, is a 1-to-1 fourth gear. So the gearing's done a little bit differently, and basically the concept is you have a really, really short first gear, like a 3-something. Like we have the same transmission in our GTO over here, and that has a 328 first gear. I'm not sure what the first gear is in this. Most of them, I believe, came with the 328, but there are some other options. So now the concept with that is that you have that, Muncie, for instance, only has a 2.2 first gear. So instead, you're going to put a short gearing in, and then to counter that, you're going to put in a tall rear end. Now this is a limited slip or a posi for all you muscle car guys out there. As you can see, I'm not sure what the gears are, and pretty sure my dad would have taken it apart to count, because you want to make sure you have an optimal gear rear end ratio for that 5-speed. You don't want something too short, and you don't want it too tall. You want the engine to to have some nice gearing to operate in. So for instance, with this car and with this, I believe these both have a 308 rear end. This might have a 336. I'm not sure. This car has a little bit more RPM, so you can run the shorter gear because you get more speed out of each gear with the RPM to counter out that shorter gear. I'm not sure. It might have a 308 as well. It might be a 336, but so this is a 308. So I'm figuring he's going to put something like a 308, maybe a 336 in the back of this too. Well, this motor should certainly turn that pretty good. It's I guess we're shooting for about 650 crank horsepower with this. I'm pretty confident it'll at least make that. I mean, we're talking aluminum heads, big ports, single plane intake, solid lifter cam. I mean, that's the right recipe to make that kind of power on an engine of this size. And I mean, I'm sure it'll have killer torque. I don't know what kind of torque figures we're talking about, but with an engine this big, you're gonna have some. That's what's going to be really impressive about it. It's going to be the torque, which, with an old heavy iron muscle car, you really need that. You got to have plenty of torque. You don't want your engine to be too peaky. So this, I mean, we could have gone with an LS or something else with this, but the big block would be nice because it'll just have a ton of torque, especially with that long stroke. A long stroke motor usually makes more torque than a short stroke. At least that's the typical rule of thumb. I mean, in practice, you might see some different stuff. But so this should be a real torque monster. I don't know if I already told you, but my dad said I think it's about a 508. 508 big block. And it's going to be nice. We got all kinds of other products, parts for this, like I was saying. We got these disc brakes for the Chevelle. I think this Master's also for it. It's going to have a hydraulic clutch too. Nice McLeod hydraulic throwout bearing. and all the associated parts that go with that. I think this is the slave. Got a real nice spec clutch for it. Looks like something pretty aggressive. Should power this, hold that, hold all that torque nicely. Nice clutch. Now, there's an assortment of other parts here, and some of them are also for the 72 GTO over there, which has been for infinitely longer than that, because it's getting a full restoration too. This car was already restored by another shop locally, but this rear end here is for the GTO, and it's a Posi 12 bolt, I believe. It looks like it's pretty much ready to go in the car, which is nice. These are the old control arms off of the Chevelle. Got an LS7 here too. Might have told you guys about this in the shop tour video, but well, I guess we're doing another kind of shop tour here, aren't we? Well, so this is LS7 we're putting together, and this engine's probably gonna. We've had it for a little while. We were planning to build it and sell it, but we might be putting it in a friend/customer's Camaro. We might actually be building it up and putting some nitrous in it. Run some good numbers at the track. So that could be pretty cool. I mean, the owner hasn't really decided whether he wants to go mild or crazy with it. If he's going to do nitrous, we're not going to run the stock block. It's that's just too much for that. We're going to have to send the block out to ERL, it's the company we've used to really bulletproof the block, so to say. And this dyno, by the way, guys, is going to be going in the next, few weeks. We're probably going to be cutting the floor here tomorrow. We've already measured it up a little bit and got an idea of where we think we want to put it. And we might be cutting the floor tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but so that's coming soon, real soon. This should be exciting, guys. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Got all kinds of cool stuff going on, all kinds of cool projects. We haven't really had a lot going on lately until now, and this Chevelle came in, and we ended up buying this dyno. We found it locally, and all these things are just kind of coming together. It's awesome. Oh, one more part I want to show you guys actually. Hold on, let's check this out. These axles that we got recently. G-Force Racing axles. They're G-Force Performance Engineering. Now these axles, I believe the guy we bought them from told us they're rated for something like 2,200 horsepower. They've been tested, so I read online, to 1,800. But they'll certainly do us well. Wonder if you guys can guess what car these are going in. You'll see. There'll be some content coming on that. Well, all right, guys. So that's some of the stuff we have going on right now. But I think I'm going to head out. Pretty hungry. I'm going to go get something to eat actually right now. But till next time, guys. Life's too short to drive boring cars.